السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربي زدني علما. ربي زدني علما. ربي زدني علما. Welcome to Al Huda Islamic Center. I'm your host Ustada Lubaba. I'm back again with another video, another lecture. As you know that in previous lecture we discussed about the disjoint letters, the muqatta'at letters. Now, the topic of today's lecture is the movements. Basically, there are three main movements in Arabic. And to understand, there are two things basically which you have to do to recognize the movement and to know the pronunciation of the specific movement. Without recognizing and knowing the specific pronunciation of the movement, you are not able to pronounce it properly. First of all, there are three movements. The first one, in which there is a line on top of the letter, it's fatha. What do we say it as? Fatha, fatha. And the second movement, which comes below the letter, okay, which comes below the letter. So it's also a line which is below the letter, and we call it as kasra. And the third one, which you can see over there, it comes on above the letter. It's a wow-like shape, and we call it as damma. Now there are three main movements: fatha, kasra, and damma. And the next thing is to know their pronunciation. Now the fatha, which comes above the letter, this one, it is pronounced as hamza fatha a sound. And the next one, as you can see, which is below the letter, it's kasra. Okay, so now kasra has the sound hamza kasra e. It has e sound. And the next one, which I told you, is damma, which is wow-like shape above the letter. So this one has oo sound, in which you have to round your lips. Okay, you have to round your lips, and then it will be pronounced as oo, oo, oo by rounding your lips. Okay, so these are the three movements and their pronunciation. You have to keep in mind them, their shape, where they comes, and their sound. After that, inshallah, we'll start to do practice of the movements. And remember this thing, at this point, if you don't recognize the letters properly, you will never be able to pronounce them properly. So you have to know, you have to recognize the letters, you have to recognize the movement and its sound, and after that, you will be able to pronounce them properly. Let us start the practice with me. We will do practice of few letters. You have to repeat it after me. After that, you have to do the practice by yourself. Inshallah, in this lesson, after getting this lesson and after practicing it all, you will be able to pronounce the letters properly. Only the letters, single alphabet with their movement and their sound, inshallah. Heading towards the practice, the first one, as you can see on the screen, this one is alif. Now alif is basically the straight line-like shape, but when there is movement on alif, then we have to say it as hamza, or we can say that due to movement alif is converted to hamza. So now you will call it as hamza. Say it after me. Hamza fatha a. This one is above the letter, the movement. So it's fatha as I mentioned earlier. So it's hamza fatha a. Hamza fatha a. Now the second one you can see. Now this movement is below the letter. Now when the movement is below the letter, so we call it as kasra. So the sound will be hamza kasra e. Hamza kasra e. Good. Now the next one you can see, it's a vowel-like shape above the letter, and we mentioned it earlier. We did it earlier that this movement we call it as damma, and now you will pronounce it as hamza damma u by rounding your lips. Hamza damma u. Hamza damma u. So now you have to pronounce them all together. A, E, U. Say it again after me. A, E, U. That's it. Remember this thing, the more you will do practice, the more you will be good at it. Okay? Without practice, you can never achieve this point. Okay? So now, going towards the next one, you can see this letter, which is a round shape. It's ha. So the first movement which comes above the letter is fatha. So we'll say it as ha fatha ha, ha fatha ha. Now the second one which is below the letter, okay, it's kasra. You have to pronounce it after me. Ha kasra hi, ha kasra hi. The next one above the letter, wow like shape, damma. Ha damma hu, ha damma hu. Now you have to say them all together after me, just to know their pronunciation. Ha, he, who. Ha, he, who. That's it. So basically we have done, there were just two letters in this page. Now heading towards the next page by doing a little bit more practice so that you will be able to do it by yourself after it. Now in the next page, the first letter over there, the purple one, it's a ayn. The first movement having fatha on it, ayn fatha, ayn fatha. The second letter having kasra below it, ayn kasra'i, ayn kasra'i. The third one again with damma, ayn damma'u, ayn damma'u. So collectively it will become a, I, u. Say it after me. A, I, u. That's it. Now the next letter you can see it's ha. We will say them according to their movement one by one. The first one above the letter fatha, ha, fatha, ha. The next one below the letter kasra, ha, kasra, hi. Above the letter next one, wow-like shape, ha, damma, hu. Now you have to say them all together. Ha, he, hu. Say it again. Ha, he, hu. That's it. Now the next one is just like the above one ayn with one dot, and you know that the letter is a ghain. We have to say exactly like the previous one by keeping in mind the movements one by one. Ghain, fatha, gha. Ghain, kasra, ghi. Ghain, damma, ghu. Say them all together after me. Gha, ghi, wu. Gha, ghi, wu. Okay. Now the next one, it's like above ha with one dot, and you know that it's ha. Now you have to say with the changing movement one by one. Kha, fatha, kha. Kha, kasra, khi. Kha, damma, khu. Say them all together one by one after me. Kha, khi, khu. Kha, khi, khu. That's it. Okay. Now the next one you can see with two dots above it, and the letter this one is said to be qaf with a heavy sound. We discussed it earlier, its point of emission. Now you have to focus on its sound with the movement. The first one, fatha, qaf, fatha, qaf, qaf, fatha, qaf. The second one, it's kasra with the, you can see below the letter with the sound qaf, kasra, qi, qaf, kasra, qi. Next one above the letter wow like shape, again you know it's a damma with the sound qaf, damma, qu, qaf, damma, qu. Now you have to say them after me all together with just the sounds. Qa, qi, qu, qa, qi, qu. Say it again. Qa, qi, qu. Okay. Now the next one is again kaf with the light sound. You can see the movements. Okay. You have to say it after me. Kaf fatha ka, kaf kasra ki, kaf damma ku. Now you have to say them all together one by one. Ka, ki, ku. Say it after me again. Ka, ki, ku. That's it. Okay. Now we have done the practice of few of the letters one by one. You will do till and so on just like this. Now one more thing you have to do for the practice is I will point out the letter and you have to think in your mind, and then you have to notice that whether you are saying it correct or not. You have to focus this thing. Okay. So now this thing you have to do. Okay. So look at this one. Okay. Look at its movement. You have to tell me that what movement is this one and how you are going to pronounce it. Think in your mind. Okay. I will give you 10 seconds. Think in your mind. Then you have to notice that if you are correct or not. Okay, so this one which I asked you was basically ha, kasra, khi. The main task is to differentiate between the movements. When they come one by one, you have to differentiate between them. Okay. Now let's just do one more. Look at this one. Okay. Think about the letter. Think about the movement. And I will give you 10 seconds again. Okay, so what you thought about it? What's it? It's sheen, the mashu. Sheen, the mashu. And if you thought the same, then that's very good, excellent. Okay, so in this way you have to go through all the letters one by one, and you have to go through them. Okay, you have to go through them one by one, then you have to think that whether you were correct or not. So this is basically how you're going to do practice. After completing this lesson, you must be able to recognize the letters, their movements and their sounds properly. Now keep doing practice of this page. Okay, until the next lesson, you must be able to say them properly. Then you can go towards the next lesson. Take care of yourself. We'll meet you again, inshallah, with the new lecture, with the new strength. Assalamu alaikum. Allah Hafiz.